Hey, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I am Georgia, a first-time mum to a 10-month-old baby. I am half Italian and I love my food. You may have seen some of my other Italian cooking recipes, which I will link above if you want to go and check them out. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 2 out of the 10 recipes, as it is episode number 1 of a series of 5. I also know how hard it is to constantly think about what we're going to cook, what we're going to eat for us, our family, our baby. So I thought I'd make your life a little bit easier and give you 10 recipe ideas that you can use for lunch or tea. Now, it's gonna be a mixture of a meat recipe and a pasta sauce recipe. So let's get on with it. I would love it if you haven't already to give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see, subscribe to my channel, and why not switch the notification bell on? We're gonna start with a super easy one-pot chicken. I've cooked this many times for my daughter and she absolutely loves it. So what you're gonna need is half an onion, a medium-sized carrot, 1 sweet potato, I'd say a medium-sized sweet potato, small apple, I would say any apple you've got. I always have Cladies in the house. And then you're gonna want about 40 grams of frozen peas. Olive oil, now I always use extra virgin olive oil, but you can use sunflower oil or whatever you use to cook usually. Unsalted stock, I always use vegetable one, but if you've got a meat one, that is also fine. And obviously chicken. Now I would say about 100 grams of chicken breast. To be honest, I've just cut a chicken breast in half and that will do. A mini blender, as that's what we're going to do with it at the end. And I would say a medium sized pot, and that is all you need. Okay, so I'm going to peel my onion, my carrot, my sweet potato and my apple. Okay, so they're all peeled. I've chopped my onion finely and we want to chop everything up. So I'm just going to slice the carrot and then I'm going to just chop the sweet potato up and the apple, as you please really. The smaller bits, the quicker it'll cook. Okay, with the apple, same again, I'm going to take the core out and then just chop it into small cubes. Finally, I'm just going to dice the chicken up and then we are ready to chuck it all in the pan. Okie dokes. Right, so we've got the onions chopped up, we've got the apple, the carrot and the sweet potato all ready to go. They'll all go in at the same time. And then we have our chicken. The frozen peas go in right at the end. So let's get it in the pot. Okie dokie, so I'm going to start by heating some olive oil in the pan. Okay, then we're going to throw in the onions and cook it for about 3 or 4 minutes until they're soft. Next I'm going to add the chicken and just saute it for about 3 to 4 minutes. Just until it's sort of browned. You can prepare the stock, I always boil a kettle and just use 200 mils of water. Next I'm going to add the veg and then we're going to cover that with the stock. There we are. Mix that up. And now put the stock in. I'm just going to get a little bit more water so that it all covers up. I always switch the fan on and forget to switch it off when I'm filming, but there we are. It's all covered now and I'm going to leave it for about 12 minutes. I am going to check that the veg is feeling soft and it's all cooked. Then we're going to add the frozen peas and we're pretty much all ready to go. The veg is looking nice and soft. We're going to throw the peas in. Go. Okay, peas are going to have 4 minutes and then it's going to all be ready and I'm going to put it in the food blender. And there we go, it's all ready to eat. One thing I like doing, just to add to a lot of Faye's food, is add some soft cheese, just because it creams it up a little bit and it just adds a little bit more flavour, like adding parmesan. I mean, you could add parmesan to this as well, or grated cheddar cheese or anything like that. Ready for your baby to enjoy? On to the next recipe. Okay, awesome. So I've just put the rest in little Tupperwares and put them in the freezer and they're all ready to go when I defrost them. So my next recipe is a super simple pasta dish. It's basically an Italian tomato sauce base with tuna added on. Now, this is a really tasty, delicious one that I've cooked many times for Faye and she loves it. And the great thing is that once we've done the tomato sauce, you can just take it out the pan and put it aside and put it in the freezer. And then once you defrost it, add the tuna. I personally don't think I would put the tuna in the freezer just because, I don't know, they say be careful with fish and stuff like that. Okay, so let's get on with the pasta sauce. It is super simple. You're gonna need onion. I've got half an onion, which is what I just used in my other recipe. Garlic. If you've seen my other recipe videos, you'll see that I always use just 1 clove. I put it in whole and then I just pull it out before serving it. That is just because you get the flavour. Then obviously you're gonna need tomatoes. I've got chopped tomatoes and tomato juice. Tuna. I've got tuna in sunflower oil. You can just use whatever tuna you have or prefer. mixed herbs, low salt stock again, parsley pasta. I use just little penne and then put it in the blender. In Italy they have like pastina, which is like little stars. I think they sell them in certain shops, but I haven't got any, so I just use penne. Then like just a little pot for the pasta and a frying pan. Okay, so first of all I'm going to peel and chop the onion and just peel 1 clove, and then we're ready to get in the pan. Okay, so we want to finely chop the onion, then we'll be frying it lightly with some olive oil. Okay, we also need olive oil, never forget olive oil, and then throw in the garlic in whole. Peel the garlic. Okay, onions chopped and garlic is ready to go in the pan. Heat some up in the pan like we did earlier, exactly the same, and then I'll throw the onions in and cook them for about 3-4 minutes. I mean, as long as they're cooked and like they look a bit, well, they feel soft, and I'll throw the garlic in at the same time. We're gonna get ready with our chopped tomatoes. Now, I often cook this for myself. Okay, ready for the chopped tomato. Okay, so I'm gonna give the tomatoes a little stir. Now I'm gonna add the mixed herbs and some stock. What I'll do this time is I'll just throw the stock in the pan. You can just use half of stock and then pour some kettle water. Break that up. What you can do not to waste anything is pour the water in there. I mean, in the chopped tomatoes. So you get the rest of the tomatoes and then just pour it in. Now I would turn the heat down low to let that simmer. You could leave this to cook as long as you like. What I'm gonna do in the meantime is I'm gonna put the water to boil and start cooking the pasta. And then when the pasta is ready, add the tuna in right at the end. If you did want to take some out to freeze, because there's quite a lot, I mean, you can do this as a family meal, so then you don't have to pull any out. But if you did want to take any out to freeze, I would do it just before putting the tuna in. So I'm gonna leave that to cook on a nice low heat, and I'm gonna boil the kettle. Okay, water is boiling, so it's time to throw the pasta in. So I usually just wing it and just look at how much pasta I think there is, and if there's too much I just end up freezing it. But they recommend about 30 grams for baby. So because obviously the amount of chopped tomatoes is a lot more than the pasta, again, if you're making it for the whole family, then I would do about 100 grams per person, plus baby. But if not, you can just freeze the tomato sauce and use it again. And you can use whatever you want with it, or just cheese. So the pasta is in and it says to cook for 10 minutes. I am gonna make sure it's nice and soft because we've got to put it in the blender. It's just easier if the pasta is really soft for babies. So I'll go with 10 minutes, but I might give it an extra 3 because I mean, it doesn't do it any harm anyway. And in the meantime, the tomato is cooking. Now my tomatoes are looking great, but if you think they might be drying up because you didn't have enough water, just add some water to it. Olive oil is always great to pour over the pasta whilst you're getting the sauce ready, just because it stops it from sticking. So I'm only just going to pour a tiny bit on. So this is where I'm just going to spoon some out in a bowl just so it can cool down, and then I can freeze it before I add the tuna. Don't forget to take the garlic out. So pour that into the sauce. That pomodoro. This is proof that baby brain still exists, because I put the pasta in before the tuna. Whilst you're meant to put the tuna in before you put the pasta in the tomato sauce. No big deal, but if you're watching this, I would recommend you put in the tuna in first and then add in the pasta. Add the tuna, cook it, just warm it up on the heat for a couple of minutes, then add the pasta. No big deal, I'm just doing it this way now, just so the tuna does cook a little bit. You don't want to overcook the tuna. Yum, yum, yum. It smells incredible. Look at that. We'll add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and there you have it. Yum yum in my tum. Okay, this seriously looks amazing, and it's really made me hungry. Now I've added Parmesan cheese, and if you find the tuna you find is a bit strong, I would again suggest just soft cheese. I find like soft cheese just does the job with everything. So give it a go, because tuna can be quite strong sometimes, but soft cheese just sort of mellows the flavour. So I hope you enjoy. So there we are, those are the first 2 baby recipes out of the 10 that I will be sharing with you in the next few videos. Please let me know in the comments if you tried them, if you have any suggestions, if there's anything that you would like to see in the next few videos. I hope you enjoyed them. I'm gonna go and eat because I'm absolutely starving now. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up if you found it useful, and switch the notification bell on. I will see you next Sunday with another video. Buon appetito!